There is one juggernaut racing franchise out there in the gaming world, and it's one we all know and very much love. No, it's not F1, it's not Forza, and it's not even Gran Turismo. It's Mario Kart. The combat kart racer is the undisputed king when it comes to both continuous sales, it's still the best-selling physical game in the UK, and multiplayer fun. While sim racing is continuing to explode, kart races and arcade racing is also a worldwide phenomenon that everyone is trying to get into, except Formula 1 that is. We have seen one attempt at a kart racer from F1 in the shape of F1 Race Stars, and it's time to bring it back. I'm Mark from Racing Games, and today I'm here to ask very nicely that F1 Race Stars is brought back in some form or another. Please bring back F1 Race Stars. Please. F1 Race Stars landed in November 2012 across PC, consoles and iPad. While it only got a 62 on Metacritic, it received mostly positive reviews on Steam, and is honestly still very fun to pick up and play today. The one thing a good kart racer does is create joyful chaos within racing. That's the reason Mario Kart has continued to do well over the decades. Its multiplayer focus, both split screen and now online, makes it a game to enjoy with friends and family. That is something currently missing from basically every mainline racing title. From iRacing to Assetto Corsa Competizione to F1 2021, major racing titles aren't designed for same system multiplayer or even really friends playing. Because of the focus on skill, even a marginal skill gap can create a race between friends that is just strung out for lap after lap rather than consisting of to and fro battles. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to get tired of always being at the back of a 3-player grid. Kart races can flip the race at a moment's notice, sending the leader tumbling to the back or helping the backmarker mount an epic comeback. The unpredictable nature of Mario Kart is just as appealing as the realism of Assetto Corsa, and that's also what F1 Race Stars provides. With its driver power-ups, item selections, damage, and of course rubber banding keeping the pack close and the racing action-packed. There is only so far skill can get you in a combat kart racer, before the better items and rubber banding pulls the pack back to you, and that's nothing but a good thing. Formula 1 in general has been trying to make its audience younger. While young drivers like Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc are happy to be more personable and even stream games in their spare time, creating a video game directed straight at the younger crowd would be the big leap the sport has been looking for. Mario Kart continues to sell as well as any game out there thanks to its accessibility to children from an early age, as well as nostalgic appeal to the older gamers. F1 Race Stars would have that same demographic to target. If its controls and mechanics were kept simple, while still representing the world of F1, it would be a huge coup. F1 Race Stars track selection was small, but each cartoonish circuit had some key piece of a real-life track, be it Eau Rouge and Raidillon for Spa, Parabolica for Monza, or the stadium section from Hockenheim. It kept those unique elements while turning everything else up to 11. Younger players can then adopt their favourite corners and tracks, just like we older F1 fans have done over the years with the games we grew up playing. I still vividly remember the late great Murray Walker describing David Coulthard going into the gravel at the Senna S's in Formula 1 2001. I mean, who will ever forget Murray? Along with tracks, F1 Race Stars would be a great way for new fans to choose their favourite driver. Perhaps they like the Red Bull livery, therefore choosing to race as Perez or Verstappen. Maybe they think the McLaren Papaya is where it's at, opening the door for Norris or Ricciardo. Or maybe they haven't learned enough about F1 yet and go with Haas. I mean, there's nothing like an underdog story after all. Players can then follow these teams and drivers throughout their lives, just like with football, witnessing their greatest triumphs and their lowest of lows. Sounds magical, right? Before we move on, have you subscribed to Racing Games yet? Just one click and you're on the Racing Games grid. Oh, and hit that notification bell too so you never miss an upload. Alright, on with the video. Codemasters are the current key holders for the F1 franchise, having been the official license holders since F1 2009. Codemasters also happen to be the developers of the original F1 Race Stars, therefore it could be argued that Cody's would be the perfect developer for a new F1 Race Stars, as they already know how to make a good F1 game, so just throw in some cartoony graphics and a power-up here and there and you're done. Sadly though, Codemasters is almost entirely focused on the official Formula 1 series. With each game getting a 2-year development time, it's hard to see any space in their current team for the creation of a quality kart racer. However, there is another idea. Recently, we made a 2-part series talking about the upcoming F1 2022. In that video, I talked about the various game modes F1 2022 could ship with. Well, what if F1 2022 came with a game mode just like F1 Race Stars? Use the current F1 grid with more caricature-like graphics, remodel the cars to match, retexture the tracks, and add some power-up locations. This would still be a lot of work. However, their new parent company might be able to help. EA's deep pockets could well fund the addition of a title like F1 Race Stars 2, be it an addition to F1 2022 or as its own standalone game. With huge appeal to the Nintendo Switch market, a platform the F1 games do not venture into, and offering a completely different style of gameplay to the mainline F1 games, it would not be a direct competitor to the game were it to be released separately. It would become a welcome addition to the F1 gaming family. Despite public opinion, EA do have a pretty good track record when it comes to delegating developers, so if Codemasters can't work on an F1 Race Stars game, I'm sure another team can be assigned instead, even if it ends up as just a game mode for F1 2022. In truth, another F1 Race Stars game does look unlikely. Much like Midnight Club, this is another classic game that will sadly be left behind. Codemasters have a lot on their plate right now, with F1, Dirt and Grid taking up all their time, plus the addition of WRC from next year. Sure, EA could step in and make it happen, but I still don't think Codemasters would be involved. This is a video very much in the wishful thinking bracket, but there is always hope that one day something might happen. Obviously nothing is knocking Mario off his throne anytime soon, but the motivation for EA would be to compete directly with Activision's Crash Team Racing remaster from 2019. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled proved you don't need to be an Italian plumber to have a good karting game, so getting the F1 grid into go-karts would make for a very appealing game. Finally, we can right the wrongs of Abu Dhabi last year by throwing a banana skin at Verstappen on the last lap, or even bring some legendary drivers into the mix and have Senna and Prost battle it out around a cartoon Suzuka, launching power-ups at one another. I'll just leave that one to the imagination, shall I? What do you think? Would you like to see F1 Race Stars make a return, or should it be confined to F1 history? Let us know in the comments below. For now though, I've been Mark from Racing Games, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and now I'm off to design the F1 equivalent to Rainbow Road. Think Eau Rouge, but over a bottomless ravine instead.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.